Peez and a Bong. Two peas in a bong. Two peas in a bong.
Two peas and a bong. Two peas and a bong. Two peas
in a bong.
What's up, y'all? Two Peas in a Bong, the building again. It's your boy DP.
And it's your boy KP.
And Bong possibly jumping on later. If not, we will see him in the chat, but there is a chance we'll also have him live and in person, y'all. So, man, crazy game. Crazy game.
Hey, man, hold on. I want to give the NBA just a round of applause, man, for tonight in the game that they put together, man. Very entertaining. Very, very entertaining.
I mean, is the conspiracy theorist in you saying that it was fixed?
If you need a fix, nah.
Bong in the chat, y'all. So Bong says, and his part of the intro is, and trying to figure out what a New York minute is. It's your boy Bong. Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, is it better to be lucky than good? I guess I want to start off by saying thank God for postseason basketball. Because the NBA becomes more concentrated as opposed to 30 teams throughout the course of the year, 82 games. Now it's less teams. Everyone gets the same exposure because it's all on TV. Now you're able to see different players from different teams that you may not have watched throughout the course of the year, and they're playing expanded minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that, and this is in reference to you. And I want to shout out one of my guys that I know that he watches the show. He's jumped in some of our stuff. His name is James Allensworth. Just happens to be from Indiana Pacers fan, right? So I'm gonna shout him out, and he's been saying stuff to me off and on all year about these Indiana Pacers and how he believes in them. But I also want to shout you out, DP, because you were one saying that Indiana's a team that can shock everybody because they don't have a bona fide superstar. Everybody seems to get involved offensively. Therefore, defenses, you can't if you try to concentrate on stopping one guy, somebody else has the ability to beat you. So
they have the team with the most chemistry.
Absolutely.
And that makes them dangerous, man.
So again, Indiana is a team that I have disrespected each round of the playoffs. And I'm saying this humbly. I'm not afraid to admit that I have disrespected them each round. The first round, I thought they were going to lose to Milwaukee.
Hey, Scotty boy. Scotty boy has entered the building. It's almost like we have to let this be known when Scotty boy enters the building. We must pause when Scotty boy enters the building.
What the hell?
What the hell?
What the hell?
He says, "What the hell, Knicks?
What the hell, Halliburton?
What the hell, my bank account? What the hell?" Oh, Scotty boy, welcome. Okay.
So, I disrespected him in the first round. They won 4-1. I disrespected them in the second round, said that they would lose to Cleveland. They won 4-1. Now it's the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm done disrespecting them. All right. I am done disrespecting them. As far as Halliburton, I want to highlight a couple of their players. Halliburton. Halliburton showed up tonight listening to Jaden Smith, Icon Living. I'm almost positive that's what he was listening to because that's what he was going for. But looking back at Halliburton, Halliburton was voted most overrated player by his peers.
Mm-hmm.
The disrespect is real.
I just think he's just not a fan, peer favorite, or even fan. Like people just talk about his game. They don't like the way it looks. Yeah, like, but he's effective.
It's effective, but it's unorthodox. But Halliburton, he's been spectacular this whole postseason, right? Milwaukee up 4 in game 5 with 119 left. Halliburton scored 7 to force OT. Then in OT, down 7 with 48 seconds, Halliburton scored the final 5 points and the game winner to win 119-118. Had the game winning layup on Giannis. We remember the story. Dear John, Halliburton. Let's talk about game 2. So that was a shot to force overtime, Halliburton, and then a shot to win in overtime. So that was, 2 iconic plays, iconic moments in that series. Let's talk about game 2 in Cleveland. They won game 1. They could have just folded and said, "Hey, we split. We're going back to Indy 1-1. We've got home court advantage." But they didn't do that. Down 17 in the third quarter. 14 to start the fourth quarter. What do? Indiana finds themselves.
Flip your notes faster.
Huh?
Oh no, flip your notes faster.
Indiana. Yeah, I do have to flip my notes a little fast. Because I don't know what I did with the stuff.
Drop the paper. Indiana. You done skipped it tomorrow. Indiana. So against Shea Gildress. Oh wait.
I got the wrong paper. Dropped the ball. So no, Indiana down against Cleveland. Halliburton went to the free throw line. I'll go off the top of my head since I can't find my notes. Went to the free throw line down 3 with 12 seconds. Made the first free throw. Elected to miss the second free throw, only to get his own rebound.
No. Hold on.
What's up?
Only to do the stumble fumble.
Oh yeah.
Get his own rebound.
Yeah.
Get back to it was looking shaky, baby.
Shaky baby.
It was like, what's going on here?
Absolutely.
It wasn't really clean until he gathered himself, made that move. That's when it started,
Yeah. 3-pointer, bottoms, game winner. Yeah. Indy, 120, Cleveland, 119, series 2-0. Series was essentially over at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Sucked the life out of Cleveland. Pause.
Yeah, super.
Game 5 in Cleveland. You know what? Too much Halliburton down the stretch. Cleveland made a run late to try to save their season, but Halliburton, 31 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, 10 for 15 shooting from the field, 6 for 10 from 3. Just too much. So now you have Indiana in New York, game 1 in the Garden, and you got Reggie Miller, the league game analyst. And Reggie Miller has been very iconic in the Garden. And so, I'm watching this game, and it's back and forth, and, it brings me to a point of, I'm going to highlight this on my banner. One of the notes I want to say, it was God, dog.
You gotta get your act together tonight, baby. You're
Hey,
stalling, B.
man,
Come on, man.
we got to tell it two Tibbs. And what I mean by tell it two Tibbs, at one point, Tibbs looked like he might have been a genius. In the fourth quarter, Halliburton picked up his fifth foul. It was 10 minutes, 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Excuse me, Jalen Brunson. I think I said
You
Halliburton.
said
I meant Jalen
Halliburton.
Brunson.
I'm like,
Yeah, I meant Jalen Brunson.
yeah.
Jalen Brunson picked up his fifth foul. The game was 94-91. The Knicks were winning, sending TJ McConnell to the line for two.
And they act like they didn't want to call that foul.
They did.
It was clear.
Blatant.
You know what's crazy? If McConnell would have made that layup,
They
they
wouldn't have
probably
called
would have let that shit go.
it. Yeah, they wouldn't have called
Yeah.
it. But it was so blatant after the way that he missed.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, yeah, we got to call it.
We got to call it. Yeah.
So at that point, I'm thinking Indiana's about to win this game. It's a 3-point game. McConnell's going to the line. He's going to hit them both. It's going to be a 1-point game, and they have to play without Jalen Brunson, and he's been cooking. So I'm thinking, okay, it's in Indiana's favor. He splits the free throws, 94-92. The Knicks are winning. All of a sudden, the Knicks go on a 14-0 run.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, wait a minute. Now we're talking the Knicks are up by 17 with 6:26 left to play.
Yeah, I was thinking it was a wrap when they started pulling away at that point. I thought it was going to be over.
And at that point, I'm thinking, man, maybe Tibbs understands a thing or two. Because I mean, the team just erupted and started playing together.
What did Tibbs do differently?
I'm just saying, he just made the substitutions that he made. That's all.
He doesn't make many substitutions, KP.
Hey,
what are you talking about?
Man, listen, he took Brunson out the game. He could have rolled it. He'd been rolling the dice all season with Brunson. He took him out as soon as he picked up the fifth foul. Now, I know that seems like something that a normal person would do.
You have to do it at that point. That much time, 5 fouls.
He does it. He does a lot of stuff that we don't always think is normal. So I'm just saying.
I hear you, but the Indiana is attacking Brunson in a fashion that Boston did not do. They knew he was in foul trouble, so they're forcing the issue. They were forcing the refs' hands, like, dog, you got to call the foul. Nembhard was going out too, so I mean, that was a no-brainer. You had to take him out, or he was going to be out of that game. I don't think he would have lasted. Which it's hard to say though, because he went all the way through OT and all of that. So who knows? But I looked at the minutes distribution. You got the Pacers playing 10 guys, and you got New York playing 7. They put what's his name in there for like 26 seconds. He hadn't even fucking played the whole.
I know you're talking about Wright, Dylan Wright.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to count him and say that's an 8th guy, okay, go ahead. But I mean, essentially they're playing, 7 players.
So then it switched from Tibbs moment to then I start looking at Carlisle, and then remembering, damn, okay, Carlisle coached Brunson in Dallas, so Carlisle's familiar with Brunson. This works to his advantage. Carlisle did something where I'm like, what the heck is he doing? He put Ben Shepherd in with 6 minutes 26 seconds.
That was the 10th. That's the 10th guy.
Yeah, but he hadn't played Ben Shepherd all game. So when he got out there, Ben Shepherd been sitting for damn near 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
He got an open shot on the side, short corner, like the short three on
Mhm.
the sideline, missed it. It was short, and Reggie Miller was like, "Yeah, that's unfair to Ben Shepherd."
What is that?
What?
That scratching.
Oh, that might be me ruffling the papers
Okay.
on a computer. Excuse me. So I'm looking at Ben Shepherd. Ben Shepherd, I've seen this look before. I've had this look before. I've been in situations like this where you don't feel like you're in the coach's good graces. So right now you're just trying to stay on the court. So he tried his hardest to play some defense, and he's
Yeah.
hoping that it could turn into a fast break. He gets some kind of layup or something like that, but he's totally out of the flow of offense.
Mhm. He had
Which
he had I think he was only in the books, probably gotta be, if he got any rebounds, okay. But I know he got that. I think he got he
he
got
got
a
an assist.
skip pass to Nimhard and assist
Yeah,
to
he got
Nimhard on the
no,
three.
no, no. That was to Neesmith.
Neesmith on the three.
Yeah,
To
Neesmith.
Neesmith on
Yeah,
the three. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
But yeah,
You
exactly. So
I
you watch it.
and I we gonna have to get to Neesmith at some point.
Oh no, we're gonna get to Neesmith now. We can get to Neesmith right.
Cause Neesmith is the reason why they even had a chance in this motherfucker. Okay. So
4 minutes and 45 seconds left to play. I'm just gonna give these time frames of Neesmith, right? 4 minutes and 45 seconds, Neesmith hits a three in the fourth quarter. Indiana's down 12. 3 minutes and 14 seconds left to play. Neesmith hits another three-pointer. Indiana's down 11. At 2:04, Neesmith hits a third three-pointer, putting the Pacers down 8, bringing the Pacers to within 8 points. With 51 seconds, Neesmith hits another three-pointer, making it a 6-point game. With 34 seconds left, Neesmith hits another three-pointer, making it a 5-point game. With 23 seconds, Neesmith hits another three-pointer from straight away, making it a 2-point game.
crazy.
With that's 6 3-pointers.
Yeah, crazy.
6.
What was he? 8 for 9
Yeah.
from 3?
Yeah. At that point, it's a 2-point game. New York scores. They're Indiana's down 3. New York does a take foul, sending Neesmith to the line. Neesmith hits 2 free throws,
Mhm.
making it a 1-point game.
2
Now,
big free throws.
yeah, huge. Now within that, they didn't even touch the rim.
Yeah.
Now within that point, Indiana decides to press Brunson. Brunson got the ball and essentially threw the ball away. Luckily,
Before that, that was the second time that there was
yeah,
almost a
that was
turnover by
one to
Brunson.
Josh
Because
Hart.
there was the inbound pass to Josh Hart. Josh
Yeah.
Hart slips, and Nimhard almost gets the ball.
I don't know how Nimhard doesn't beat him to the ball. And
I'm not sure either. But then he does. He gets to it. So Josh Hart makes a recovery, gets to it, and then they retain that possession. But that was almost a turnover, a key one by Brunson.
Absolutely.
Then there's the one that you're talking about that was in the corner when he was about to get trapped. Yeah.
Oh, he was trapped, and he threw the ball and landed all in the Clyde Frazier's lap.
Hey man,
Luckily,
I told my brothers, Clyde Frazier be walking in there looking like a character off of Fat Albert with the fits he got on, dog. Like he's like, hey, I wore this in when we played in the 70s. It may bring luck to him today. So
hey man, you know who stole his style, man? Swagger jacked him. God rest his soul. Craig Sager.
oh, okay.
Yeah, Craig Sager swagger jacked him. But the ball bounces to OG Anunoby. He gets it, and he's fouled. And when he's fouled immediately, he had 2 shots. When he split the free throws, I was like, oh man, this ain't gonna end well for New York. At that point, now I'm starting to believe Indiana's really going to win this game. And then on the last play, Halliburton looked like he might have double dribbled. I was wondering like what the heck happened. I don't really know. He fumbled it, bobbled it,
The
but
bounce
got
that
the
shit
dribble.
took, I knew that shit was about to drop in.
No. I'm saying, but he got the dribble. Yeah, then he stepped back.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
release looked unorthodox as normal. He got it
Hey man,
over
hey,
the out.
let me in, coach. I was waiting for y'all to gracefully put me in there. Y'all just gonna put me
Oh,
on the
I
sideline. Let
thought
me
you were
in.
on. I thought you
Hey,
were
hey,
on
man,
there. Hold on.
you
I
oh
had
oh,
already.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Man,
yeah. I thought you were on there, baby.
You
okay,
yeah.
appreciate
The
it.
he releases over the outstretched hand of Mitchell Robinson, and yeah, that thing bounced up to the scoreboard
Yeah,
and then dropped. And I'm like, oh wow. And to point at Reggie and then
but
do the choke.
he had the Kevin Durant toe on the line. You know,
But
that would have been a dope way to end the game. But
I still think
unfortunately,
it's
no.
iconic
Oh, it was dope. I
because
mean, it
I
sends
mean
them into
I mean,
overtime. You know.
they still got the win. Like so it's still gonna go down is
And I was letting you go through your time frame, but there was a point where Halliburton, I thought Indiana was tricking it off. It was about I think it was a minute 20 when
mhm,
Siakam went to the line because he got fouled off of a pass from Halliburton. But Halliburton dribbled the clock all the way down, the shot clock, and then made the late pass. And I don't know why you do that. You should go early. He was dribbling because he was looking for the three,
yeah.
trying to back up to the three, which as you see when he hit the toe on the line too, he was going back to the three. So instead of taking the two early on when it was like, under 2 minutes, you're looking for the three. Cut into the lead, dog, because if you get fouled, you have a chance of only making one instead of two. And that's exactly what happened on that play. He split the free throw, so you only got 1 point. So you wasted all of that time for 1 point when you could have just went straight to the cup, got two, and then played the foul game. I mean, it played in their favor this time because of just the way the game played out. But execution wise, like you got to start looking at stuff like that. Like it ain't gonna always happen like that, especially if you tricking it off and you dribbling the ball 20 seconds and then you splitting free throws and you're down by 5 or 6, you got to get some buckets. Like, but that's the
Absolutely.
NBA these days. They want to shoot the threes, man.
Yeah.
Nico, it's been a rough last half of the season, huh? He says the Dallas Mavericks are donating the number one pick to the Shanghai Sharks. um, if only it were that easy. But appreciate you tapping in though, Nico Harrison. Man, the coach of the New York Knicks has to bear some responsibility for the loss. If you, I don't know if I think Kev was going through a timeline that got us into overtime. He hadn't really talked about the overtime, but what stood out the most for me was those last two shots in overtime for New York. Brunson airball, Cat wide open look. Nobody now. It could be. You could say with Brunson, did the ball get tipped? I mean, it looked really bad. He didn't even. It was an air ball, but did the ball get tipped? Did he get fouled on the arm or something like that? He didn't complain, so it was probably, if it was any contact, it was probably incidental. Cat shoots a long three that barely touches the front lip of the rim. Those motherfuckers was tired, man. Let me see.
Yeah, but
And that was that.
at that point they had to put that bitch up. That was after
Yeah,
the Obi Toppin tip jam. That motherfucker was
yeah, and that wasn't an
woo-wee.
easy. That was he had to work for that little tip jam. It looked easy, but
Oh
somebody
no, they
stepped
fell
up.
asleep. They fell asleep at the
Yeah.
wheel.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
they fell asleep at the wheel, but I'm talking about somebody stepped up at the last minute. You know what I'm saying? He had to kind of contort his body, but he's
No, oh,
obviously
no. That was the inbound play, Bong.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
That
tip
was
jam was
yeah. I'm
off the
sorry.
three.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
about the.
Three. Hey,
I'm
but
thinking
the
about
one you talking about, Bong, that was an and one that
That was
they
a
just
foul.
didn't call.
Yeah.
That so that could have put because Bridges fouled him. That could have ended it right there if Toppin goes to the line and hits the three. Now it's a 2-possession game. But
Yeah.
the fact that they didn't, it was still one possession, but the two shots you're talking about with Brunson and then Cat, like they were at the end of the game. So they just trying to get it up and
I understand Brunson. Brunson is giving up a lot of height. So he looked like he was double teamed. He's covered. But Cat's 7 feet tall, man. And at that point, I believe Cat hit 5 3-pointers within the game. Nah,
yeah,
man.
when you relaxed and you got time. Hey, time
I bet
keep
he
on
hit 4.
ticking.
He was 4 for 8. My fault.
Hey,
Yeah,
what
time keeps on ticking.
what Cat was saying? New York.
Yeah, get that
did,
shit
did,
out of here,
he,
Cat.
did he say that shit after the
Carl
game too?
Towns.
Carl, my boy Carl Towns. But man, this was a crazy way to lose a game. And I know Scotty Boy said something earlier about did y'all see the magnets at work?
Mm-hmm.
You
He
know
said,
what
I
I'm
know you
saying?
seen the magnets at work, KP.
But yeah, if there were magnets at work, that was that Halliburton shot, which was the whole play. And I think DP, I don't know if you were talking about that play a few minutes ago, but that entire sequence, it just looked not smart. He just got lucky. It was like, what are you doing? Like you're in the paint or you're basically at the free throw line, and then you scoot back 3 steps to try and get a 3-pointer. Like it's like his brain was moving a little bit faster than he could process it, and he just got lucky to get.
I think you know what? No, I think he was thinking I want to hit this three to get to just win it. It's like the nigga who just won't shoot kick the one, kick the extra point, wants to go for two and win in the opponent's at the opponent's home field. And
But
I
if
think
you,
that's what he thought, like, fuck it, I'm backing up. Let me shoot this three and get out of here.
yeah, it still didn't look right. But again, you know,
I mean, when has it? KP said something about him, what he did against Milwaukee with the
The Cleveland.
the Cleveland joint with the stumble mumble. No, the Milwaukee joint where he was stumbling too, and the Cleveland where he was stumbling.
Yeah.
Like he's
Halliburton has definitely been lucky. He's hit some big. So I don't know if it's luck, but
yeah. At this point, I don't know.
he's been fortunate throughout these playoffs and even last year.
4 times his playoffs.
Yeah, he's had some moments. He's had some moments, but the Knicks got to be gut wrenched. I'm in a few different chats, group chats, and I was at one of my kids' basketball practice, so I wasn't watching the game live, but I was following the score. And at some point, I kind of put my phone away just because I thought it was over. I'm seeing celebratory texts and all this other stuff from people that's from New York. And next thing I know, I'm looking at more texts like, "Oh, that was amazing," and "Oh shit," and I'm like, "Oh man, hold on, man, what's going on? What the fuck happened?" So going back and watching the highlights, man, boy, the Knicks tricked that game off.
Hey,
I mean, I think, let me not say that. Let me not say the Knicks tricked that game off. Neesmith, that shit is unreal. You don't expect this motherfucker to hit 3 consecutive threes to cut the game to basically a 2-point game. I think they said what was the record of people that are of teams that are up a certain score.
With up by 14 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds, 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in regulation in the playoffs.
There
in
were
the last
900
970 and 0.
Yeah.
mm-hmm. It's a first time for everything.
A first time for everything.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Look,
Yeah.
engineer is already saying 1 in 970.
But it was so I'm not gonna say the Knicks tricked it off. Could they have played? Could they have probably put a man on? I mean, I think he had a hand in his face half the time. Anyway, Neesmith was just. I mean, he's pulling up from a range that you don't even want to jump out there, because if you foul him, now it's 3 free throws. Or if you foul him and he makes it, now it's a 4-point play. So, you live with the results, but man, he just found the perfect time to go out there and cook in that last 2 minutes or what, 2 or 3 minutes. And Halliburton will get the lion's share of the credit, deservedly so, just because he's what we consider the star of the team. But they don't win that game without Neesmith. He was the one that really took New York's heart at the Garden. You know what I mean? So,
Well,
man,
I mean, I think he was. I think they said he was top 10 in 3-point percentage this year. He's shooting over 40%. I think he's around like 43% at the three. That kind of speaks to what KP was saying before you jumped on, Bong, in terms of like you being able to see more players and get a closer look at exactly what they can do, like some guys that you wouldn't normally see playing throughout the season because you're just not following them, and their games aren't televised as some of the others. So, you got guys like Neesmith who are, key pieces for their team and are getting busy, and he's proven that he can do it since he's shooting 43%. That's a very good percentage from three. So he was getting busy tonight too. I think it was 89% from three tonight. That's crazy. So you can't expect that to be duplicated every fucking game, though. So let's not go
Deal
too.
World in the building, man. He say, no telling what would have happened if Halliburton's dad was there. Oh yeah, he's definitely running up in Cat's face.
Wouldn't have made it out.
Oh yeah,
Would have beat him out his clothes. You saw what they did to the Fireman.
Yeah.
Fireman just had an Indiana jersey on. He wasn't saying nothing to nobody.
This nigga KP says they'd have beat him out of his clothes.
They beat him out his clothes, man. They'd have grabbed him by his jersey, socked him. Socked him out his jersey, man. They'd be holding the jersey in his hand. He knocked out, man.
Snatched his towel.
Yeah, man. Like,
waving it in his face.
Oh man. All that, man.
He'd have been a bloody mess.
Hey,
man.
Bong, you said something about what were you saying about Thibodeau though? Because I wanted to address what Alf Sucks at Mock's Drafts is saying about Carlisle as well. But what were you saying about
I was
Thibodeau?
talking about just the rotational pieces, right? Like, I mean, he had he played 8 players. One of them was Campaign. He only played 10 minutes, but everybody else, he basically has 7 guys. Indiana goes 10 deep.
10.
They have and you see, like, I think they may have one person. Let me look, double check. They may have like one person in the 40s. So they had Tyrese have 42, Siakam have 43. Everybody else was under 40.
But that's
Tibbs, right? But with Tibbs, you got 3 guys that's over 40, and Brunson. The only reason he's not over 40 is because he got in foul trouble. So you would have played like and Cat was at 39. So you would have had all your guys. Your starting 5 would have all played 40 plus minutes had Brunson not gotten into foul trouble. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not sustainable, man. Like, you can't. Again, who am I? They're in the Eastern Conference Finals. What do I know?
Made it this far. Yeah, that would be the argument for people behind it. But so Al Sucks at Mock Draft said Carlisle not putting Turner in at all in the 4th was the reason why they were down 20. Do you agree with that, KP?
Miles, you talking about the
Miles
shooter?
Turner. Miles Turner, yeah.
He wasn't in the 4th. He got a block shot in the 4th.
I think he's saying the point where they stretched the lead
is because he wasn't in the game.
Yeah.
Nah, because Turner didn't give you anything in the second half. He started off shooting well in the first half. I think he had 12 points at halftime, And I was, I'm looking at live betting, and the live betting was like 19.5. I said, hell no, ain't no way he gonna get it. Go under. And in typical Miles Turner fashion, if he scores in the first half, he's not gonna give you anything in the second half. So I think I want to verify what he finished with. He finished with 14 points. So he wasn't giving you anything in the second half.
Yeah, I mean
He had a nice block shot.
which was actually a goaltend
It
that
was,
they
but
missed,
they didn't
but
call it.
it goes in the books as a
Yeah,
block
like,
shot, baby.
and I think it was 2 plays before that they tried to pass him the ball, and he did the fumble stumble where he
Yeah,
caught the
and I think he was I think he was out for a little bit. I think there was a stretch where he was out for a little bit. Was it when they brought Toppin in, right?
Yeah, they brought Toppin in instead. Yeah.
Yeah, when Toppin was in, that's when. And Toppin, Toppin was playing well. So I mean, he was giving them a spark. So it wasn't like it was a
I was
super.
pissed off when he missed that breakaway dunk in the first half.
Oh yeah,
Like, what are
he
we doing,
atoned
Obi?
for it.
You're by yourself. What are we doing?
Yeah, and they're saying Turner was too important on the glass, so that was kind of um what they're kind of getting at. And I would say, yeah, when you're Indiana's gonna have to be careful. Just when you go with Mitchell Robinson in the game, and Carl Towns at the same time, more so Robinson, he's gonna
Yeah.
eat up the glass. So you got to have somebody down there. But most times, I really don't know what they're gonna do if it gets down to it, because you'll have Turner matched up with Towns, and Towns will probably be at the top of the key trying to shoot threes. So if you're pulling Turner out the paint, I don't know how that's gonna go. But FYF in the building
FYF,
again.
indeed.
He says, "What I
Seen
tell
with
y'all
that
about them
FYF.
Pacers." Yeah, I mean FYF. I was saying, I said the Pacers were a dangerous
Man, you
team,
only
man.
saying that FYF because you from Indiana, man. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Come on, man.
Mhm.
I sniffed that a mile away. You
Mhm.
Yeah.
got some you got some nap pride.
Yeah, man.
Nah, but they a dangerous team, dog. They are. Just
For
because.
the NBA conspiracy theorists, maybe they want to bring the glory days back to the Midwest, to Indiana. You know, then we see a nice little Indiana Pacers in the finals. We all know that America's darling resides in Indiana with the Fever, Caitlin Clark. So, maybe Indiana's they bringing it back to NBA, NBA lore in the Midwest, in the old Indiana. But we'll see, man.
So that would be a move to save Indiana, not save the NBA.
I think um, I think it's a bad start for what the people claim they want to see in the finals. So everybody, I would say a majority of fans want to see New York, or New York, as Carl Towns would call it, New York and Minnesota in the finals. And the favorites, or the people that the people's favorites, are both down 0-1. So it's not the ideal start that we wanted, and I'm pretty sure that if we get a finals that features OKC and Indiana, the ratings will be historically low.
Okay, we got somebody new in the building before y'all continue. Hopefully this isn't butchy, but Genoa Balandres. Uh, if Hallie was a couple feet away from that line, that shot was all but net. Welcome
Nah,
to our world. First of all, appreciate you jumping in on the live and commenting and saying your piece. So hopefully we can get you to subscribe. This won't be the last time we see you, but yeah, I mean, we were talking about that shot. I don't know how when you jumped in here, but we were talking about that shot a little while ago, and I mean, hell of a shot regardless, man. If it was a three, it would have been a walk off home run, though.
yeah.
You know. Got him in the overtime nonetheless, though. So with that, the Kevin Durant toe on the line. But still a it dropped in. I saw Scotty Boy still talking about the magnet. So maybe it was the magnet that drew it back to the bucket. I don't know, but it
Hey,
went in.
hey, and I saw you engineer when we first got on a little well when KP and DP first got on. You said we're not ready to have Halliburton as the face of the league. He's definitely not a face of the league candidate.
Yeah, nah, he won't be. Yeah,
He's
one of the boxes that I was saying need to be checked was the nod from your peers. Remember when we were talking about it?
his peers already told us where they stand on his ass.
Yeah, man.
Get
Oh
this
man.
bum out of here.
So
Nah.
let's say that the Pacers go on to win the Eastern Conference Finals, and they win the NBA championship. When we look back, will Halliburton's shot to send the game in overtime be more or less iconic than Kawhi Leonard's shot to beat Philadelphia?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, there's no comparison. I don't.
Hey, look at just based off of what Al Sux and Mox Draft says, his shot is too ugly for him to face the league. Like even the shot, the setup, everything about that shot, it was tricky as hell. Kawhi shit in the corner, he puts it up. He's sitting like he's squatting, getting low, watching everything. The bench behind him, of the opposing team's bench behind him is kind of like waiting to see what's going to happen. Like there's no comparison. The Kawhi shit, that shit trumps what Halliburton did. Like Halliburton was ready with the celebration. I don't even think it was impromptu. Like I don't know who was talking about it. Maybe it was one of the TNT guys. Halliburton had been practicing that shit in the mirror for 2 weeks.
Yeah. It was in a post game interview. He said it.
Come on, man.
But
Like
it happened. But you still got to make the plays for it to happen, and it happened. And Reggie Miller just so happened to be the lead game analyst courtside in the same arena that he did the same pose in.
Man.
I give it to him. It was a great shot. I mean, it wasn't a great shot. Let me stop. It was a lucky shot, man. Like he got a great bounce.
And they got him for the post game interview. Y'all needed to get Neesmith for the post game interview.
Thank you.
There is no way.
It's Neesmith. Neesmith is the reason.
Yeah, there's no way.
He shocked the world. I mean, 3 threes in a row. I know the crowd was stunned because everybody thought it was over. You had people walking, you had people already headed towards the exits. Motherfuckers was making dinner plans. Motherfuckers was lining up pussy. Like all kind of shit was going on.
Yeah.
Big Apple was about to go crazy.
And Bong, you said 3 threes. I'll take it a step further. 20 points.
Yeah.
In the last 4 minutes and 45 seconds of regulation.
Crazy. That's what erased that 20-point deficit.
Yeah.
Like you have no chance if he don't go off and do what he did.
Yeah.
Pacers can definitely become a darling of the league if they fix up that defense. They can be really, really good. They play well together, but I don't know who really has an emphasis on defense like that. Maybe
Neesmith plays hard defensively.
I'm saying collectively.
Oh, okay.
Collectively,
okay.
I mean they've been in some just basically shootouts. Like like
we're gonna outscore you.
Exactly. So I don't know.
The old Don Nelson write 147 points on the board and circle it. This much, no one's gonna beat us.
This is our mark tonight, fellas.
Yeah.
Sometimes it be like that. Jim Will said Miles tried to sell so hard. When was that?
When?
Yeah. I was watching a live stream, and when the Knicks lost the game, they were irate and cussing up a storm. I loved him. Scotty Boy is like, I don't.
and Scotty boy, that's why I said if Halliburton's dad would have been there, they would have socked him out of his clothes. Like they'd have looked for him. He wouldn't even had to have celebrated. It would have been like, oh, there he is. And the mob just would have went over there and it would not have ended well.
Louis V. Tim's to the face.
Oh man, yeah, it would have been nasty, man. It would be nasty. I mean,
Louis V.
like
Tim's to the face. Yo,
they know who he is. But they'll do their own dirty.
Mhm.
yeah.
You're talking about a firefighter. After 9/11, a firefighter in the NYC is like Higglytown's heroes. They should be able to get away and be celebrated for the end of time. The firefighters for what they went through during 9/11. But you're talking about a firefighter wearing an Indiana jersey, getting just drugged, and they weren't even playing the Pacers at that point, and the Knicks won and still did him like that, man. Like
Sore winners, man.
it's unbelievable.
Sore winners, man.
And you
That's
gotta
why
punch one of them in the face and just it is what it is after that. And somebody going down with me.
because they already pouring the pouring the garbage juice on you. Like, damn, I just got this jersey. My man was walking off like I just got this jersey. Hey, no, Jim Will, we know you're talking about Miles Turner. We trying to think about the moment or like when he
that you're talking about.
Yeah, when he
engineer said uncouth behavior.
Oh yeah, very, very, very New York like. Very
that's what we talking about, Scotty boy.
It tracks well, man. Like, so it's almost like
absolutely
as soon as the world start feeling like, hey, the New York Knicks are like the NBA's darling this year. New York fans showed their true colors and it was like, yeah, nah, fuck them. Nah, fuck these motherfuckers, man. Y'all ridiculous ass motherfuckers, man. But hey, still a great game as a basketball fan. It was a great game. Like after the game, my trainers called me to talk to my son and was like, "Hey man, did you watch the game? Like that's crazy." We was at the gym, we in the locker room going crazy at the 24-hour fitness. Like, you know how it go. I don't know if you guys ever worked out like during like a NFL playoff game or NBA playoff game. When that shit gets tight, motherfuckers start huddling around the TVs. Like the workouts kind of get put on pause. Motherfuckers huddling around the TV to see what's going on in these close games, man. So it was excitement as a basketball fan. Like I said, if you have nothing invested in it, if you're not a fan of either side, you just watched a great basketball game. It gave us everything we wanted. The NBA won tonight, but as a New York Knicks fan, oh man, it's gonna be some DVs tonight. If y'all know what that means, it's gonna be some DVs tonight. You dig?
Women lock the doors.
Oh yeah,
women lock the dinner ready. And lock the door.
Y'all cold.
Exactly. So, it's gonna be some DVs tonight.
That laughter is not condoning. Like you said, Bong hates New York.
RG, that's RG3 voice. Not on some. No, I'm just playing. I love New York. New York has the best pizza I've ever tasted.
Was that game a steal?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Is it too early to say? You calling it still an even series, anybody's series, or is it like, okay, Pacers may have snatched their heart?
I am done disrespecting Indiana. I've disrespected them every series they've been in, so I'm done disrespecting them. No.
Ooh. Hey, Jim Will coming in hot.
He said it wasn't a steal; it was a choke job. Hey, did you? Hey,
argue with your mother,
Bong. I know you said you didn't watch it. KP, did you watch the post game?
I watched. Oh, I saw some of the post game.
I didn't watch. I didn't watch
where Shaq was like, he was talking about your boy Rudy Gobert on the Shaq and the Food stuff. He
I
said
did
Rudy
see that.
Gobert with the choke miss, but he said it because Draymond Green was on the panel.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It was like,
Then
come on,
he
Shaq.
had Draymond on there too.
Yeah, like come on, Shaq.
Yeah. No, hey, listen, man.
That Shaq ain't shit for that.
During games like this, you want to watch the post game. I'm talking about the post game when they interview the players. Like, let me hear what y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying? Cat came up there. He had his Supreme. Thank you. I'm glad y'all motherfuckers lost. He had on his Supreme t-shirt with Max B on that motherfucker, smoking a cigarette, like New York. Like, okay, man, sit your silly ass down, man. So, but like I said, the NBA won tonight. It was a great game. And if you're talking about starting off the Eastern Conference Finals with I don't know why they're historic, but people say that the New York Knicks are a historic franchise. MSG is a historic arena to play in. You couldn't ask for anything better than what we saw. I mean, we had just theatrics just to get it in the overtime. Then the overtime was close, back and forth, back and forth. Jalen Brunson, man, had he not been in foul trouble, that motherfucker would have dropped a double nickel or something. You know what I'm saying? Shit, they couldn't stop him. I believe they eventually in overtime may have started to send a second person at him. But if they're gonna double Jalen Brunson moving forward and say we're not gonna let Brunson beat us, I'm interested to
then
see
who will?
who's gonna step up. That's what I'm saying. I'm interested to see.
Well, Cat played well too. He shot well.
He did. But you expect that from Cat. Like you need Brunson to get off. You need Cat to get off. Like those are just non-negotiables, right? Like that's like
Bridges. We were talking about like mid-range being a lost art and stuff. Bridges gets to the mid-range pretty frequently, man, and he knocks him down too.
You know who they said somebody tonight. They said Andrew Nimhart had the highest percentage of mid-range jump shots made this season.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, when I think about his game too, yeah. I mean, because look, and the Pacers have a couple guards who do it then, because you got to add McConnell to the mix, because when he gets in the game, he's
McConnell.
mid-range too.
I like McConnell.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be like I say, man. I've been saying the Pacers are a tough team, man. Like you may not like the way that shit look, and they don't have no stars or whatever, and the star that they do have, you don't like that shit. But I mean, they look they're tough, gritty. They play together, just a team, dog. So
yeah, but they still should have lost.
Well, I mean, they should have lost to Cleveland too. Like it's been a lot of things that should have happened to them, and they just keep on moving on.
DP keep that viewpoint very general about the Pacers. So every time they win, he be like, "I told y'all, they a tough team, man. They play together." But I'm saying, like you're not saying, hold on, you're not standing behind them and saying, "Hey, man, I got the Pacers winning in X amount of games." You just saying, "Hey, man, I keep telling y'all, man."
But I've been saying it.
I thought he said enough.
I said it about Cleveland. Like, what more did I need to say about the Cleveland series? I said Cleveland. I was like, look, y'all talking all this about Cleveland. Watch with Cleveland. I said, now they're gonna have to show what's happening in the second series when they play the Pacers, and the Pacers took care of them niggas. And I ain't surprised.
Hey, Jim Will, don't get my boy Scotty boy started. Jim Will said it was a stretch, but Obi sold on me with not getting 2 assists. We got another gambler in the building.
Wait. Oh,
hand claps, Kev.
Hey, hold on. Give me
a little clap. Hey. Yes, DP.
And I'll get to that in a minute. We got a segment on the show called KP's Picks for my degenerates that like to gamble and get down.
DP has been riding with Indiana, and I'm just saying Is that? Are you saying that you have Indiana to win the series? Can we get
I'll,
you on wax?
I'll go with Indiana winning the series. I'll go with
There we
Indiana
go.
winning the
There
series.
we go.
Yeah,
Hand clap for
yeah.
DP,
I
KP.
would
If
I
y'all
would have
want.
said I
This
would have
this
said
guy.
this is if Boston, would have got through, no injuries, would have, overcome New York, that would have been a tough series. But I said New York is kind of the same way. They play well together, but you have a couple stars like Cat and Brunson. But Indiana is just like, who the fuck you calling the star on that team? So they got the chip on the shoulder too and all of that. So fuck it, I'll ride with him. Might as well not back out now. I'll ride with him.
There
And I
you go.
want to pull that comment up for you, DP, because I saw while you was talking, engineer said this about you.
Yeah, yeah, he saw it.
Well, that's why Bong went back to it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Um,
Who wins the next game? Um, I think they go back to Indiana tied up. But then I
New
think
York can't afford to lose.
I think they go back to Indiana tied up, but then the Pacers win the next, and the Knicks got to be careful to not let them go up 3-1 going back to Madison Square Garden. If that happens, then they're super done. But it's one of the listen. I'm rolling with the Pacers. It is one of those where it's like I told y'all before we even got here, it would be like a toss up between the Knicks and the Pacers. But I'll rock with the Pacers for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, hey, who do you? Which one of y'all want to handle the? I know we kind of backtracking a little bit, but I do appreciate Jim Will for engaging in the chat.
What this question about the
Yeah,
Cavs?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, it's not. You know what? The Cavs also hit some injuries at an unfortunate point in that series too. Um, and I mean, you talking about Donovan Mitchell? Um, what was he averaging 40
At one
at one
point,
point? Like,
yeah.
what more do you need him to do? I mean, I don't know if you're saying that it's just him who's this is what's in the cards for him at this point. So Cleveland will do nothing because it's just like Donovan Mitchell was taking him where he's going to take him. But I don't know. They have the pieces. They have a cool squad personnel wise. It's just I don't know, man. I don't know what they're missing. Like what's going
That
on.
DNA, that DNA,
Uh,
the DNA, the championship
the
DNA. Do
uh,
they have any? Do they have any vets that played championship? Do they have anybody that played championship level basketball on the Cleveland Cavs?
Max Strus went to the finals.
Who?
Max Strus with Miami a few years ago when Jimmy Butler took him. Max Strus was on that team when they lost to Denver. That's about
I
it.
mean, but when you think about them, KP, don't they have everything? They
They
got
do.
they got shooting, they got the defensive player of the year, they got defense, rim protector, and it's not just him.
Jared Allen.
Allen is also in the mix. I mean, you got the
Al-
guard play.
So I think that they have a couple problems. Um, I know that Channing Frye recently had an interview and was talking. I put it in the Discord for those of you that are listening. We have a Discord. Please go in, subscribe to the Discord, sign up. We're always talking in the Discord, chatting football, basketball, college stuff. So this was one of the things I put in the Discord. It was the interview with Channing Frye, and Channing Frye was saying when he was watching the game, Cleveland playing, it was a scuffle. DeAndre Hunter was hitting the stomach, and you look around, and Jared Allen is as far away from the scuffle as possible. He wanted to get nowhere near what was going on. And that kind of speaks to Jared Allen is like you're supposed to be an interior presence. You're supposed to be, one of the tougher guys on the team. And when it starts to become physical, it seems like he fades away.
Well, he seems like a nice guy anyway.
He does.
He
Then it
doesn't
was
seem like
like,
a tough guy.
and I don't know if it was some insider stuff, but it was like, I think it was he missed a couple games last year in the playoffs because of his stomach or something like that. He was hurting, and so he didn't play. So um listening to that, I put that in the Discord. I was kind of saying, if you get rid of a Jared Allen, you have to bring in a bruising type of center to offset Evan Mobley. But I don't know if that's more so the problem. I think more of the problem is your point guard situation in Darius Garland. I think that they may
And
have to
somebody
go.
said Garland's got to go. I think that
Yeah,
was that
I
Al
think you
Sucks at
gotta.
Mock Drafts, or no? It was Scotty Boy. Scotty Boy
I,
said Garland got to go.
I think you've got to get rid of Garland, and I think that you can get something for him. You can't make Ty Jerome your starting point guard either, but you need to trade Darius Garland.
Hmm.
So that's what I would say. It's not Spider Mitchell though.
Hey, Scotty say Allen just a goofy dude with an afro, like Samurai Jack. But yeah, man. Okay, so it looks like we're having the Discord link
No,
expired.
it'll be up, and
Okay,
it'll be up in a second, so y'all can
okay.
go
So,
and
yeah, so we're updating the Discord link, so you guys should be able to give us a few minutes to get to it, and we should be able to give you guys an updated Discord link. But I know we've been talking. We've been about an hour now. We've been talking about the game one of the Knicks and Pacers. Hey, KP, we finally, the NBA finally announced its most valuable player, right? After game one of the Western Conference Finals, and we knew it was between two two players that had competed against each other in the Western Conference semifinals.
Mhm.
Nikola Jokic and Shea Gildress Alexander, aka or affectionately known as SGA. And when the smoke cleared, um, SGA emerged as the winner. So, and I know KP had a few things to say about it in the chat, and I know I had a few things to say about it. I mean, not in the chat. I'm sorry, in the Discord. KP had a few things to say about it in the Discord. I had a few things to say about it. We went back and forth, but we tabled it until we could have a conversation. I know Al Sucks in mock draft. You chimed in as well, but KP, I will give you the floor so you can give me your take on what you feel about the MVP uh, and how that came about.
and the
Um,
Discord link is up, y'all, so y'all could go and get on in there right now. Pause.
Let me first say shout out to Shea Gilgis Alexander on winning an MVP. You're in rare company now. You've got your first one. That's put you in company with some of the greats: Kobe Bryant, Shaq, Allen Iverson. All have one. So Kevin Garnett. So shout out to you, SGA. You're in rare company in winning that NBA award. I will say this: as much as I'm happy that SGA did win, I think that Nikola Jokic got snubbed. I think we'll look back at this 5 years from now, and we'll look at Nikola Jokic's stats, and we'll say, "Damn, he really did all that. He was able to accomplish all of that. My goodness." And when I say his stats, I'm saying Nikola Jokic this year was first in offensive efficiency. He was second in assists with 10.2 assists. He was second in steals with 1.8 steals per game. Third in scoring, 29.6. Third in rebounds, 12.7. And fourth in minutes, 36.7. He played in a tough Western Conference, same as Shea. he had less of a supporting cast, and at some point, he didn't have his coach. Yet, he was still able to man the ship, and he was still dominant in putting a historic season together of one we've never seen before. So,
So is he finally falling victim to voter fatigue?
absolutely. And I think it's
So
deeper.
is it undefeated like Father Time? Is voting fatigue
Absolutely.
like Father Time?
But I think I'll take it a step further. Nikola Jokic has 3 regular season MVP awards, right? That puts him in company with Moses Malone, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird. If he were to win one this year, he surpasses them, but then that puts him in the company of Wilt Chamberlain and LeBron James. Nikola Jokic is only 30 years old. At the rate that he's going at this point, he'll be dominant like this another 5 years.
But
Because
does not getting it this year with this performance and production in this season, does that basically set the precedent for what's going to happen with him going forward? You
absolutely.
don't get to this point if you don't do as good as you did this year. You
Exactly.
definitely ain't getting it.
Exactly. And I'm saying if he were to have gotten it this year, this puts him on the trajectory of surpassing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with 6 regular season NBA MVPs.
Does he get another one?
I think he does. Yeah, I think he does.
So here's my take, and KP said that in the Discord earlier, and I said, if that is the case, is it collusion to keep the sanctity of the All American MVP list, right? Like these guys that have 4 or 5, you know what I'm saying, MVPs or whatever, and it's like, hey, we're not going to put you in that upper echelon. We're not going to put you in that top tier. We're not going to put you on that Mount Rushmore. What I was saying was the reason, if there's a reason that Jokic did not get the MVP this season, it was because of the same reason you guys believe he can't be face of the league. It's not aesthetically pleasing, his style of basketball, right? It's not flashy. It's not, it's not, hey man, every time you look up, he's flying through the air or he's doing some crazy, unreal 3-point shot. Like,
Then why'd he win the other ones?
again, what I'm saying is if there's a fatigue issue, because KP was saying, like, by numbers, there's no reason that he shouldn't have won. And I'm saying that, again, they're like, okay, you've gotten your awards, you've been lauded, you've been commended, you've been applauded for your, heroic feats, your heroic sports feats. You've led a team that shouldn't have won the championship to a championship. Like, you've done everything that we asked of you, but the buck stops here. Like, fortunately or unfortunately. And the crazy thing is, he can come out and, like KP said, he can come out and do it again next year. But if they already told you that this year it wasn't good enough, all they run with next year is the better storyline. So SGA made for a better storyline, whatever that was, right? Man, he's the new kid on the block. He's been on the best team for the last 2 years. I think OKC was the number 1 seed last year, and they felt like Shea got snubbed because he was on the number 1 team, and his numbers were good enough for an MVP last year, and he didn't get it. So maybe the voters are trying to make up for SGA snub from last year. I think it's very telling that they waited until after the Western Conference semifinals to announce it, because we could have, again, as the old Kanye would say, I guess we'll never know, but we possibly could have been looking at Jokic winning his 4th had he won Game 7.
And
So
maybe that was you have conspiracy theorists or whatever. Maybe that was the NBA saying it's a 2-man race. Well, whoever win this, y'all, it is what it is. Like, it's on the line. You lead your team to a series win against the other one, and you get the nod. Could be.
Jim, man, that was a great question. Obviously, with NFL, is more likely than not a quarterback will win it. but what can the NBA learn from the NFL MVP process and vice versa? There's really nothing that
It's
either.
all arbitrary.
Exactly. It's
Yeah,
as long as it's human, as long as the voting is based on humans. I think if you look at baseball, Barry Bonds got snubbed many a times because he didn't play nice with the media, and the media votes on MVP. The media votes on Hall of Fame. Like all these things come through the media in baseball. So if you don't play nice with the media, we can choose not to vote you in, or we can choose, what I'm saying, to be that one vote that makes you not unanimous on your, when you get these awards. With the NFL, the quarterback has the ball in their hand a majority of the time. I mean, they touch the ball first on 99% of the plays outside of wildcat or some kind of trick play. So naturally, a quarterback is more than likely going to get a the MVP at the end of the season. During the times where there's a running back that wins the MVP, that's an indictment on the quarterback. When Adrian Peterson won, what didn't he won co MVP with I think Peyton Manning or something like that. Wasn't that the case? Or maybe I'm tripping. I might have too much going on in my head, but I think AP and Peyton Manning might have shared. Um, Let me take that back. I'm not sure. I know AP won an MVP, and the reason he won an MVP was because he did a majority of the heavy lifting for his football team. His quarterback wasn't great, but AP in his prime could have played with any quarterback. If you put that in basketball terms, it's the same thing. The star of the team probably dominates the ball for the most part. So they run the offense through, like DP said yesterday, they run the offense through Jokic. He's gonna be your MVP. They run the offense through LeBron in his prime. He's gonna be your MVP. If Jalen Brunson were to win the MVP, they run the offense through him. If Halliburton were to win the MVP, they run the offense through him. So your star player is typically going to get it. I've never seen, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I've never seen, a role player or a defensive player win MVP in the NBA. Like it's
That's why
typically the star guys.
Yeah, that's why they're called a role player. And
yeah,
Adrian Peterson did win the MVP in 2012, and that was when he was 9 yards short of tying Eric Dickerson's rushing record.
yeah. But I'll
Right.
I'll add to what you were saying, Bong. I'm actually glad that it's that way in the NBA though. Like, yes, it does run through your star player and whoever dominates the ball, that's who you're gonna put the ball in his hands, pause. But I'm glad that it can be a different position. It could be a point guard. It could be a shooting guard. It could be a center. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be like the QB. Like more than likely, like you said, Jen Will, that's who it is in the NFL. So I would say I don't know who can learn from who. That's actually a tough question. It's
they
a
can learn
really
from,
good one.
they can learn from each other because there's some
And do
things that
what though?
well, I mean, the NFL can learn from the NBA in terms of spreading, changing the criteria for the MVP that allows multiple skill position players to have a chance at getting the award. Like you're saying, the NBA, you have multiple players that play different positions that have a chance at getting the award.
Yeah, because it's not like the quarterback. Like
No, I
a
understand that.
quarterback is lining up under center. You don't start the play unless the quarterback says, "Let's go."
I understand that, but on every team, the quarterback isn't always the best offensive player.
Right. But as we go back, more than likely it's going to be a quarterback who gets it. Like if a quarterback does perform well, that motherfucker's probably in the hunt for it, right?
Like I'm like a receiver. If a receiver goes over 2,000 yards receiving, you should be looking at the receiver. I understand that the quarterback is throwing them the ball, but in a situation, a receiver, 2,000 yards, some of that stuff, that's unprecedented. You got to start looking at them,
Who was
unless
that?
the
Go ahead.
quarterback throws for 6,000 yards.
Was that you, Alf Sucks at mock drafts, that put that that post in a Discord about them starting offensive lineman of the year
Yeah, they
or
plan on
something
doing
like
that
that.
this year. Yeah,
Yeah,
they plan on doing that this year. Um, but yeah, and I'm sorry, it was.
and
I think the year that Adrian Peterson won MVP, Peyton Manning was the only other player that received votes, and I think somehow I got all that jumbled in my head because in 2004, Peyton Manning shared the MVP with Steve McNair. So
right. It's
yeah, so all that shit kind of just you had too much
protector of the
football
year is
knowledge.
what it's called. Um, Yeah, okay,
Um,
and that's kind of crazy because with that I said it's cool to recognize like guys in the trenches. Like you'll have an offensive player, defensively, you could look at tackles, sacks, and stuff like that. But what do you really look at from the offensive side of it?
What about
Pancakes?
the
Is it?
pancakes, baby?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. So that's super arbitrary. And I think the panel
they,
is supposed to be former offensive linemen and stuff like that. But
they
it's like,
still they still have things that they can grade them on as far as like like sacks. So like
Sacks
how many
allowed.
sacks allowed, or how many pressures do you allow? So like
yeah,
they
but
talk about.
those motherfuckers ain't in the hunt, Bong. If you allowing sacks, you're not even in the discussion
No,
for
that's
it.
what I'm saying. But that's what
Yeah.
they get graded on as far as like, hey man, how do we judge these motherfuckers? Like that's really what it is. So like when they talk about, that's how they can talk about Trent Williams with the 49ers, and even when in his old age, this motherfucker is still one of the best left tackles in the business. You know what I'm saying? And he
on
rarely gets
on
beat.
cue,
Dude.
on cue. This is
Okay, boom. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. Trent Williams in his old age, I think he's in like mid to late 30s, and still dominant like that. Like like that's what it is. Like you can literally park him on the left side of the line and know that your quarterback doesn't have to worry about anything. Like that. You don't have to speed up your clock at all because Trent. Big Trent Williams has your back over there on the left side, your blind side, basically. But
So is it so does this turn into a left tackle, right tackle
It like
type
yeah,
award?
like yeah.
right. So and and, and, and
A
again,
center.
it'll more
He
than
had
likely
no fumbled snaps.
Yeah.
it'll more than likely end up being a left tackle because it's the most important position on the offensive line. Um, you know, again, if
Unless
you're
unless you're a lefty
Yeah,
quarterback.
right.
is Lamar lefty?
No.
Okay. Um, but yeah, it's it
So
is it is what it is. But yeah,
Chris
as far as
Hill
MVP goes,
about
as,
to have
as
a
far as
breakout season, man.
as far as MVP goes, damn, Trent Williams is 38. Goodness gracious.
Mm.
As far as MVP goes, man, hey,
So you had said
Jim
something
Will
about
said
the MVP, Bong.
Jim Will
Um,
said something before you speak on it. I want to see what you have to say about this, KP. Speaking of voting fatigue, does it tell us anything about Giannis consistently being there in the top 3 to 5?
Mm,
I think he's always going to be up there.
right.
Well, as long
Just
as
based on his
look,
production.
as long as his athleticism is top tier, barring no injuries, he's going to always be in the top 3 to 5 because he plays. The only other person that plays as hard as him is Russell Westbrook. Nobody else plays as hard as Giannis.
Yeah. But he will have to reel off triple doubles like
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jokic.
because Jokic is
Yeah,
revolutionizing that.
exactly. So
Um,
if he does not,
he
then
will always be in that
he
3 to 5.
yeah.
yeah.
So
And the thing
um,
about SGA having his moment is that I think next year we won't hear about SGA. He won't be like a um, an MVP. You know, it's not gonna be like, oh yeah, SGA for MVP type.
he'll probably be like Giannis. He'll be there.
Yeah, I mean possibly,
Yeah,
but
he'll be there,
it
but
was this was
Giannis,
the makeup for the snub, right? I think in my lifetime, and I'm biased, of course, but I still think it holds true. I think Kobe Bryant got snubbed a few times for MVPs
oh, he did. He
when
did.
You know, I mean, when you
When
think about
Nash
what Kobe was doing,
got his second win, that was
yeah,
Kobe's.
Yeah.
when you think about what Kobe was doing when the post Shaq era, and I talk about this, the Lakers wasted his actual prime. By the time they got Gasol, you know, Kobe was he was still good, but there was like 3 years, you know, there was a couple years in there remember when Kobe was, this is when camera phones had just kind of gotten big, and Kobe was at the mall and somewhere in Orange County talking to whoever would listen about how he wants to be traded to the Bulls, get me up out of here, fuck the Lakers, this, that, and the
Is this
third.
8 Kobe or is this 24 Kobe?
This is uh this is 24 Kobe,
Okay. Okay.
right? So, but again, the post Shaq era Kobe was doing ungodly things on the court. Like a motherfucker sits down with 63 points or 60, what was it, 62 or 63
65.
points? No, no,
65 in
yeah,
the third quarter?
63. Yeah, yeah, 63 in the third quarter. And tells Phil, like, and your
No,
coach
that was
asked,
no. Wait, Bong, 65 because you're talking about against Dallas.
yeah, yeah, it was 63. He didn't drop 65. I think it was 63. It was either 62 or 63 against Dallas, and Dallas had like 61 or 63. They had like one less point than he did in 3 quarters. And then to have the confidence to tell your coach, don't put me back in, I'm good. Like I can do it again. And then to come out later on that year and drop a 81. Hey man, man. That motherfucker was doing ungodly shit. Like some of the numbers he was putting up, like I just don't. Do you think anybody? Well, I mean, I'm sure at some point in time, because the way the NBA is going, with you know, a lot of people ain't playing. There's no focus. There's no focus on defense. You can tell by the All-Star games. You know, motherfuckers just want to. It's a AAU type of environment as opposed to like, you know what I'm saying, like really giving a fuck about defense and trying to lock down. So I think eventually in the next 20 years, some kid will eventually eclipse 81. But, you know, there's a reason that 100 stood for as long as it did, and we still don't have video evidence of Wilt scoring 100, just a picture with him holding up a paper with 100 with the number 100 on it. So
Yeah, I question that 100, man. You know,
Yeah,
I
don't get
ain't gonna
KB
lie.
started on the 100. Hey, but Bong, what would be the difference between what Kobe did in the post Shaq era when they had to figure it out and build around Kobe versus what Jordan did at the start before they figured it out and put the pieces around him?
what would be the difference?
Yes.
The difference is Kobe's game was more refined, and he had no talent around him. You know what I'm saying? So um, with any piece, as you can see, he gets Gasol. They just gave him some help. It wasn't like the greatest. It wasn't like the greatest. You know, Gasol wasn't the greatest of anything. They said that I think Kobe's the only player to win a championship without another top 75 player on his team with those two championships. So Gasol ain't a NBA top 75. Kobe was out there basically willing these motherfuckers to win. So when you talk about we talked about it yesterday for a little bit, that how the influential people, and I think Kobe's influence on the league is still being shown now, because a lot of these people, you know, a lot of the folks in the league right now, a lot of these younger players who got a chance to see Kobe, they didn't get a chance to see Jordan. They weren't alive when Jordan was playing. We got to see Jordan live, right? A lot of these players, to them, Kobe was their Jordan. So they didn't get a chance to see Jordan, but they saw Kobe, and
Jordan's
Kobe,
photo.
yeah, exactly. Kobe
Right,
was
but that's why I'm asking you, because I know we did get a chance to see it. So
right.
I get what you were saying about Kobe, which is why I'm just wondering, because people will, you know, he was at a point in his career where he was more experienced and his game was more refined. and no pieces around him. He doesn't get the chips. What's the real difference? You got to have pieces of any great player. Still, you got to have the pieces around you,
Yeah,
regardless.
absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, I don't. But what I'm saying is,
No, I'm
I
not
don't
saying that,
know.
and I'm not saying that
I
you're
don't. I
not
don't
saying
know.
this. I'm
I don't
saying a
know
lot
if
of
a young.
people will talk
Yeah.
about this when they debate stuff, and they don't.
I don't know if a young Kobe. I don't know if a young Kobe is doing what a young Mike Jordan's doing.
So
Like,
are you
but we
saying a
have to
Kobe?
understand. But
Are you
you have to
saying a
understand
Kobe
that.
and are you saying a Kobe in Mike's position without a dominant center, and he's the main guy like Mike?
I'm talking about a young Kobe. If a
I know.
young Kobe with
I'm
no
saying,
Shaq,
if you're saying that he doesn't have Shaq, he's in a
right,
situation like Michael Jordan.
right.
I think he does.
So no, what I'm saying, got to remember,
Well,
Jordan hold on. Jordan got the benefit of playing in college. So Jordan has some college. He has some college years under his belt. Kobe's coming out of high school. Kobe is just going off the vibes and what he saw on tape with Michael Jordan. He went through his ups and downs. He dealt with the hate from his coaching staff. Like there were things that were in play that you know
he had to
restricted,
overcome.
right? That
Yeah,
restricted Kobe from like just coming out the shoot and being a you
But
know exactly yeah out
that's
sucks
why
him out
that's
drafts.
why
Like Kobe was
but
much
Bond,
younger. He was much younger.
that's why I asked the question though, if we're just saying all is even and Kobe is in Michael Jordan situation on his team with the green light that Michael Jordan has. That's why I was asking the question.
No, oh yeah, no.
I'm saying it,
It would have took him a year or two to get out the shoot, but yeah, Kobe would have done the
yeah,
exact same thing.
yeah. That's why I was saying nah. He does that
Yeah,
if that's the case, and I
yeah,
think that
absolutely.
I mean one of the things I think like eras the defense was different when Kobe was playing than when Mike was playing. Yeah, they had the Jordan rules. Yes, they could foul harder, but illegal defense was a thing. And guys couldn't necessarily pack the paint unless a big was standing in the paint and they were playing defense on him. And you couldn't stunt on double teams back in the day. You either had to go double team or you had to stay with your man, which cleared the floor a lot more, giving Jordan a lot more one on one opportunities. When he beat his man, a lot of the times he had a clear path to the basket if the right personnel was in the game and you didn't have a big in that particular area that was occupying the paint. Whereas when Kobe played, it was more so a zone and it was less illegal defense called as far as you could stunt and you could get back. You didn't have to do one or the other and make that decision. So I actually think that those were different, and it made it harder to actually score in Kobe's era, which is why some of the games were like 72 points, 80 points, all those things
Yeah,
because of how
yeah.
hard it was to score baskets.
But Kobe was in my lifetime, and again, I'm old enough to remember MJ, and I'm biased, man. I won't shy away from that. In my lifetime, the best that I saw with my eyes was Bean. And
yeah. You must
there's
have started watching basketball in '99.
This guy.
no, I mean, it's just I gotta, that's just me. That's just me talking. And again, I'm a Laker fan. I'm from LA. I'm a Kobe Bryant fan. I believe that Kobe is arguably one or two, but because Kobe not only got his game from Mike, but actually studied Mike incessantly. Um, I believe that I'll finally concede and say Kobe is two only because it's the master student situation, right? Where the student will never be greater than the master. Like he, Kobe damn near he mimicked Jordan,
Yeah,
right down to
closest
the
to it.
walk, to the way he chewed his gum, the
One who did.
turnaround, the oh man, like it was everything. You
And
know
who
what
did
I'm
he say his favorite player was?
saying?
Who?
Who?
Kobe?
Kobe.
Mike
Magic.
D'Antoni, right?
Right.
Oh, I thought you.
No.
I thought you were talking about
Ubon
Mike
got it.
Yeah,
You
D'Antoni.
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
Magic.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you don't cut
Bullshit.
that shit out,
We know your ass lying like a motherfucker talking about Magic. Shut the fuck up, Kobe. We know. But but
You know,
again,
Kobe ranked. Kobe said who the best 3 players were ever. He said it at the Drew League.
Master Yoda and Anakin.
He
yeah,
said it
Yeah,
was Wilt,
I see.
him, then Mike, in that order, and
yeah,
repeated himself.
yeah. Talking to James Harden. Kobe constantly was telling these guys, the DeMar DeRozans, the James Hardens, these guys, like, listen, man, you guys not on my level. And I think there was a moment where after Kobe retired, DeMar DeRozan, he was floating around as a free agent. They talked about potentially bringing him to LA, and he shied away from coming to LA because he couldn't handle the pressure of living up to Kobe's legacy and coming behind Kobe. Like that's the shadow that Kobe cast. You know what I'm saying, on some of these guys. I remember you remember the little light skinned point guard from UNC that we had for a couple, maybe like a year or two. KP. Damn, I can't remember his name right now.
Iceman
But
point guard from UNC. What do you
yeah,
remember the year?
it was probably like early 2000s. Gosh, man, his name is right. His name is in the back of my head, but he left us and went to play for the Charlotte Hornets, and he was a dope guard. But gosh, what is I'm anyway when
Kendall
he came
Marshall.
to yes,
Who?
Kendall Marshall.
Kendall
Oh,
Marshall.
okay.
Kendall
Point
Marshall.
guard.
He left. Yeah, he point guard. He played for the Lakers. He was dope at UNC. Came to the Lakers, couldn't do shit. The lights was too bright. It was just too bright. Some motherfuckers not made to be in LA like that. He would leave LA, went to Charlotte, and he would. I'm like, okay, they go to 20-point games. They go to 20 and 10s. They go to, because there's no pressure. Like, man, I'm in Charlotte, bro. Like, I ain't got no responsibilities. I ain't got no expectations. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. I'm close to home. But, if you in LA, you have a bad game, the street, you're going to hear about it in the streets. You know what I'm saying? From Beverly Hills to rodeo, from rodeo to rodeo. Formerly known as rodeo, now is Obama. But you dig, like, so, but Kobe was that dude, man. I don't even know how we got off on
Yeah.
talking about.
So real quick, game tomorrow. Who y'all got?
Whoo.
I'm gonna go Minnesota.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Minnesota.
I told y'all, and I'm brutally honest about this. I really want to like Ant Edwards, but because he put the Lakers out, it can't be this playoff run. It can't be this playoff run. Like, he talking shit, talking about Wolves in 5, or he said Lakers in 5 after the shit, walking through the city, talking shit to the fans. So regardless, although I know that box office, like New York Knicks versus Minnesota Timberwolves will feed families, I'm still going to go with OKC. Even though deep down in my heart of hearts, I want Minnesota versus New York is a fun NBA Finals. Like that's one that's for the fans. But because I can't live with this motherfucker put the Lakers out, I'm going with OKC.
I'll go with Minnesota for tomorrow's game.
Okay.
But they'll need Nas Reed and Gobert to have good games.
Okay. Interesting you said that. I'll get to that. I'll get to why it's interesting in a moment.
It's that time of the show.
Let's get to it.
You need a little sound effect. You need a little sound effect when we run to the KP's picks, man.
Yeah, you gotta
work on the sound effect for us, man. We need something.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man. Come
Sound
on.
like that EJ stat of the night, sponsored by no
Nobody.
one.
So,
Hey, man, so
um,
before you get started, man, let me give you this quick disclaimer, man. Hey, the thoughts and views of KP are his and his alone and do not represent the thoughts and views of Two Peas in the Bong. Please gamble responsibly. We do not have any sponsors.
And KP's motto behind this is you can bet your bottom dollar, just don't bet the ones on top. KP.
so hopefully my guy is here. I don't know if he's in here, Scotty Boy, and whoever else be into them parlays, but I don't know who took my advice yesterday. Hopefully, some people took my advice yesterday. I gave you 14 different scenarios. Out of the 14 different scenarios, we were 11 for 14.
Hand claps,
11,
hand claps, hand claps, hand claps.
11 for 14, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully y'all listen. You know, I told y'all the three that let me down, two of them was the same person. It was Mitchell Robinson. You know, he didn't get enough points. The other one was Jalen Brunson, didn't get enough rebounds. He needed to get 3 rebounds. He got 1 rebound. And Mitchell Robinson, he had to get over 5 points. He didn't. He had 2 points. The second one was points and assists, 5.5. So he had to get 6. And he had 3. So, yeah, 11 for 14. So we did well. So for the Timberwolves OKC game, it's funny, DP, that you mentioned Rudy Gobert. I took Rudy Gobert on the over on points, over 6.5 points tomorrow. Isaiah Joe, over 3.5 points tomorrow. Julius Randle, over 24.5 points.
Damn.
Isaiah Hartenstein, over 8.5 points.
I'll roll with that.
Isaiah Joe, PRA, over 6.5. That's points, rebounds, and assists. For those of you that don't know what PRA is. Dante DiVincenzo, over 2.5 assists. He will get 3 assists tomorrow at least. Case and Wallace, over 5.5 rebounds and assists. And Isaiah Joe, over 5.5 rebounds and points combined.
Bong.
Those are my picks for tomorrow. That is 2,
Hey
4.
Bong. You
That's
Yeah,
see
8.
you see that shot engineer took? That last shot
yeah.
engineer took?
That's I want to let I want to let KP get his um
Oh
you
shit.
know I want to let KP get his picks off.
So,
He said you want to be broke. The Angel Reese shot. You come to the right place, baby.
hey,
Man, crazy.
engineer, if you would have played on my stuff today, you would have been sitting pretty, man. 11 out of 14. You'd have been
That'd have
sitting all
been
right.
it'd have been like an Angel Reese double.
Yeah, hey, yeah.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. Look like I don't know if
If Scotty Boy
they
stayed
feeling
around
the
to hear
they
the picks,
feeling the.
there
Oh,
he is.
Scotty boy.
There he is.
He said, "Is it going over or under tomorrow?"
Mm.
Oh no! Oh, the game. Yeah, I don't like to do those. I'm staying away from that. And for those of you that don't know, that was 79%. 11 out of 14 is 79%.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Listen,
Play
man.
it
Y'all
back if
heard
you
his
got
picks.
to.
Y'all do with that information what you will. Remember those disclaimers, because you know, Scotty boy. If you taking that advice, I don't know if you still shaking in quarters at the laundromat and leaving in your car
Yeah.
behind KP's picks, but you know. And
Hey.
engineer said not bad, you know. So,
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
No, hell
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Not bad. That's damn good. 11 out of 14. Shit.
Yeah.
this week
Yeah.
Right.
or
I mean,
today.
look, it took overtime to get a couple of them. my man Obi Toppin was killing me until he got that tip jam that gave
Hey,
him the third field goal. And then he got
it's like you said. It's like you said earlier. I think Bong said something. You said it happened.
yeah,
Hey, he got it.
yeah,
So shit. Overtime happened. He got
yeah.
it. So
So shout out to Halliburton for stepping on that line with that toe, because it allowed me to
Allows
get
you to cash.
yeah.
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Hey, before we get out of here, I just want to remind everybody to please like, share, subscribe, and engage. I want to appreciate Jenwill Belandres.
Bolandres.
Belandres.
You gotta roll your
Bolandres.
tongue.
Hey, for this is
You
the
gotta
first
roll
time that we
your tongue.
this is the first time we seen you in the chat, but you've been really active. We
Yeah, for
appreciate
sure.
that. We appreciate the support. If you haven't already, if you could give us a subscription, we definitely appreciate it. Man, we typically get on here late nights, about 3-4 times a week and talk shit. We got a cool little community that we trying to build right now. You know what I'm saying? You see some of our favorite
Yeah,
some of
shout
our
out to
favorite
the folks
folks
who
over
are
here.
consistently in this bitch.
Engineer, Scotty
Engineer,
Boy,
Scotty Boy,
Al
Deal
Sucks,
World,
Al Sucks and
Outlook
Mock
Mock
Drafts.
Drafts.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Chris
saw,
Darden
I
or
saw
Darden.
Chris. Yeah, I saw Chris in
Yeah,
there
FYF
earlier.
Sports. You know what
FYF.
I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all rocking with us for real. And anybody else, if you don't,
Dizzle ain't in today,
oh
but
man,
Dizzle,
yeah, that's family right there. You dig?
Yeah.
What's my guys from Boston? Is Nunya from
Oh,
Boston?
Nunya didn't show up today, but
Yeah.
Nunya's usually up in here. So yeah, man.
So
Y'all
anyway, like I
cool
said,
folks, man.
we appreciate it. We appreciate it all. With that being said, DP.
Nah, y'all got anything else y'all want to throw out there before we roll out?
Nah.
Man,
See y'all soon.
hit him with the
All right.
balloons, KP, so we can get on.
Hey.
We out, y'all. Peace.
Come on out.
All right, 2 Peez in the bong, y'all. We out.